Huntsman World Senior Games Active Life. My name is Jeff Harding. I'm sitting in for Kyle Case, who's out of town. Joining me today is Michelle Graves. Michelle.
Hello.
You're becoming an old pro. You need to talk right into your microphone so that people can hear you.
I just like to look at you, Jeff. I'm sorry.
We know that that's not true. So how are you doing today? We're getting right down to the wire here.
I'm happy to be here, and I'm getting so excited for the games. I kind of feel like a kid at Christmas. You know, it's that anxiety and anticipation and excitement and
this is your first event, isn't it?
Everything all in one. Yeah, it's going to be great.
Well, Michelle, since we're not getting a lot of this right now, let's talk about sleep.
Oh, we are not getting enough of that probably. And I don't see when we will get enough of that again.
I can tell you
probably
it's about a month. It's about a month, and then your sleep will come back to being a normal routine.
Okay.
So let's talk about some things that happen while you're asleep. Did you know that as you fall asleep, you jerk every time?
My husband says I do that, yes.
According to sleep experts, the degree of the jerk is suggestive of how sleepy you are. So the bigger the jerk, the more tired your body is. So if you're being a big jerk, you're really tired.
And do you ever do that? Do you ever jerk and wake yourself up?
I've done that before, yeah.
Yeah, I do that kind of often.
Did you know your body temperature goes way down?
Oh, that's why I need a lot of blankets.
That's right. When you're active during the day, we burn more calories, so lowering the temperature is a way of reducing the rate at which calories are burned. It saves some energy. That's kind of like when bears hibernate. Their body temperature goes down and they burn less calories.
That's why I don't get up and eat during that
because you're hibernating.
8 hours that I'm supposed to get.
You're hibernating.
Right.
Did you know that you do a full toxin cleanse?
Oh, tell me about that.
As you're asleep, your body and brain rejuvenate. So in people who don't get sleep or don't sleep well, the filtration isn't as effective. So experts say that that may help explain why people who are sleep deprived can go a little crazy because you're not getting rid of the toxins.
Oh, we're in trouble.
That explains a lot about our office right now. Did you know that you forget useless information?
Oh, but you keep the important stuff?
That's part of it. Yeah, your brain's as part of the process while you're sleeping. During the day, you're taking all kinds of information all day long, and while you sleep, most of it's forgotten, and that's according to Christopher Carwell at the University of California, Los Angeles School of Medicine. So if you remembered everything, your brain would fill up so fast, you'd be like a computer on overload. It would just seize up.
Oh, I don't think I have that problem, but that's good to know.
Now, this one is really interesting. Did you know your body becomes paralyzed, but your brain is at its most active?
Oh, there's the dream part, right?
Well, yeah, your brain is active and it's dreaming, but your body becomes paralyzed. And that's part of when you're dreaming and you can't run fast, you can't get away from something.
Yeah.
It's because your body is paralyzed. It can't move, and your body knows it. Your mind knows the body can't move, so it seems like it sort of incorporates it into your dream.
You ever feel like you're going to fall off a cliff or something and you wake up before you do?
Well,
that's your body becoming unparalyzed?
You do a jump just before, yes. Your mind is snapping your body out. Get out of it so you don't have to die.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. This one's interesting too. All your individual cells, not just your brain cells, are being completely repaired.
Ooh, that is good.
It's another reason why sleep is so important.
Yes.
Because that's when your body rejuvenates. Not just your mind, but your whole body rejuvenates. Did you know that your immune system is at an all-time high while you're asleep?
Interesting.
I thought that was interesting too.
That's why when I do get sick, all I want to do is sleep.
I think so. Because your body's better able to fight. It has the energy to fight the bug, whatever you've got while you're asleep, but while you're awake. Yeah, your body's doing all those other things. Did you know that you will wake up between 5 and 15 times an hour?
I don't think I do that.
Well, it says it's usually very swift. It's like to change positions, move.
Oh.
But it's just because, again, remember before, your body's paralyzed while you're asleep. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to change positions, you have to wake up. That doesn't necessarily come to a fully conscious state, but you're not in a sleep state either. I mean, so you're kind of somewhere between. And as I had a Fitbit, and it keeps track of the times, your awake time and your restless time while you're asleep during the night. And I was amazed at how often it showed me being awake through the night.
Now, is that good or bad? I would think you would not want to be restless.
Well, I think that's normal. It says you're going to wake up between 5 and 15 times an hour. I think that the more restful it would be 5 times an hour. But if you're waking up 15 times an hour, there's probably a problem.
Yeah, I mean, we always want to be a high achiever, but for that, I think we want to be a low achiever.
And finally, did you know that you're probably breathing while you're asleep.
Oh, I'm so glad to know that.
But actually, up to 30% of the people actually stop breathing at night. It's called sleep apnea.
Yeah. There's machines that help with that.
Yeah.
That's a hard problem to have.
I had sleep apnea for a while, and I had to wear a CPAP machine, a constant air pressure machine, to make sure that I breathed through the night. I went to the sleep clinic, and the doctor asked my wife, "Does he stop breathing during the night?" She said, "Oh, yeah, all the time."
Oh, my goodness. That probably made you feel tired all the time, too.
Well, yeah, sleep apnea does. It definitely increases your fatigue because you need the oxygen to rejuvenate and do all the things that you're supposed to do while you're sleeping. If you're not breathing, you're not getting that.
Absolutely.
So that's...
well, we will have to put all these things on our to-do list after next month.
Yes, sleep. Sleep is number one on my to-do list.
Yeah, sleep with all these great components to repair all the damage we're going to do.
Well, now that we put everybody to sleep, let's do something to wake everybody up.
Okay, that
Joining us
like
today in
idea.
studio on our show is Jody Wright, and Jody's a massage therapist, but that's not what he's going to talk to us about today. Hello, Jody. How are you?
I'm great, Jeff. How are you?
Great to have you on the show.
Thank you.
It's kind of weird, isn't it? You're looking across the studio through a couple of microphones at me, but you're in studio.
Right. I'm here.
Which is nice. It's nice to have the guest.
Today, we're going to talk about cryotherapy, which is something but before we go into that, Jody, tell us a little bit about yourself, your background.
Well, I've been a massage therapist for 20 years and mostly worked with athletes and people who are using their bodies for work. So I've taken all of my education and all of my experience with my clients, and the way I describe it is kind of a search and destroy type massage. So finding out exactly what the client's needs are, and then specifically focused on addressing those needs, as opposed to, say, just going into a massage clinic and having a general hour massage performed. My focus is what are the goals that you wish for your session, and how can we best utilize that time to achieve those goals?
Why is that shoulder or that thigh bothering you? And let's get down to the nitty-gritty and resolve that issue, I guess.
Exactly.
Did you have something to say?
That's good.
Yeah, it is.
Well, I'll add that for the last 3 years, I've worked with the Senior Games massage and chiropractic team, and that's a great group that we've been able to assist the athletes in being able to come back or continue to perform throughout the games.
Right. Helping them so they can compete at the highest level possible.
Right.
But a few weeks ago, you were telling me a few months ago, you were listening to a podcast and you learned about something. What did you learn about?
Well, it was back in January of this year.
Okay, a lot of months ago.
I was listening to a podcast and I heard about this new treatment called whole body cryotherapy. And as a massage therapist, and specifically with sports massage, I've used contrast treatments, hot and cold, to support meeting those people's goals within a massage session. Right. So I heard about this whole body cryotherapy, which sounded unique, where it's a 3-minute treatment where you're using an extreme level of cold to create a reduction in pain and inflammation, or to boost someone's recovery. And I thought, wow, I want to try this out. So my wife and I, who were both listening to the podcast at the time, went looking for the nearest place that offered whole body cryotherapy. And we expected Las Vegas, since we're 2 hours away from Las Vegas. We expected it to be there. We couldn't find it at the time. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that there were some businesses that were in development at the moment that weren't marketing yet, but the nearest places that I found were LA, and then I found a guy who was really proactive in educating about it in Dallas. So my wife and I, months later, decided we needed to investigate this further, and we went to Dallas to have our first experience with this, and to get kind of it was a 6-hour seminar on all the ins and outs of whole body cryotherapy. Okay,
so just to clarify for our listening audience, in whole body cryotherapy, you put your body in a chamber that is super cooled, so that it's like wrapping ice on a specific spot, only it does the whole body.
It does.
And it's even colder than the ice.
It's colder than the ice. It's a different experience. It doesn't feel as extreme as an ice bath, which is fantastic. For any of you who have experienced an ice bath, it is a brutal
Yeah, my whole body's shivering at the thought of
10
an ice
minutes
bath.
or 20 minutes, however
that's right.
much
It's
time
awful.
you subject yourself to that. But this with whole body cryotherapy, it elicits a systemic response. So the goal in the beginning of the session is to expose as much of your surface area to a temperature of minus 166 or colder. And
Makes
what
my
this
toes
does,
curl.
it did for me the first time. And what this does is when your body is faced with that extreme cold that quickly, to protect your core, it creates a very fast vasoconstriction response. So it pushes all of the blood and all of these inflammatory agents in to protect the core. So your blood is then circulating at the core for the 2 to 3 minutes that you have this session. Once you step out of the cryo sauna or the cryo chamber, your body has an extreme vasodilation response, sending the blood back to warm the body back up. And this is where the greatest therapeutic benefits seem to come from. My first experience, I went not knowing what to expect, but for 2 months, I had been experiencing, with doing a lot of sports massage, a lot of deep tissue massage, I was experiencing wrist tendonitis in both wrists. And my experience, I went to Dallas and I was given the opportunity to try 2 sessions within an hour's period of time. And since that experience, the tendonitis went away and hasn't come back.
Wow. If you're just joining us, you're listening to the Huntsman World Senior Games Active Life on Fox News AM 1450. We're talking with Jody Wright about cryotherapy, and that brings up a question, Jody. So, is it typically you just go in for one session, or do you typically do multiple sessions at a single visit? I mean, how does this work in the grand scheme of things?
The greater benefits have shown to be with multiple sessions. And just like with massage therapy, when somebody presents with a particular issue, we take a look at how long they've had this issue and what is it going to take to address the issue. Depending on how chronic the situation is, it might take more time to address a particular thing. So just like any of the other tools that we as massage therapists have in our tool bag, we take a look at how can this support that person's recovery in the best way. I was blown away that 2.5 minute sessions knocked out my wrist tendonitis.
Well, is it typical to do multiple sessions in a single visit, or do you normally do them over a period of time?
Normally you'll do them multiple sessions per week.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I have a question.
Yes.
So anyone that needs any kind of massage, it works well for that? Or what is the prescription or the qualifications to have this done?
Well, so a lot of the benefits that we promote for using whole body cryotherapy, and I keep distinguishing whole body cryotherapy from cryotherapy because just putting an ice pack on is using cryotherapy. So this technique is called whole body cryotherapy. And so anybody who experiences pain and inflammation is a candidate for whole body cryotherapy. There have been people who it affects the mood positively. It affects energy levels positively. I knew coming onto this radio program and already, I'm starting up this business now. We're in the middle of our soft opening. By the time the Senior Games begins, we'll be in full force. So there's been a lot of extra work involved in setting up this business. And so by about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I am wiped. I've lost the ability to focus. And I've noticed that a session of whole body cryotherapy just brings back my focus and raises my energy level. So
can you bring it to our office?
I think we just need to bring your office over this week to try it out, so you guys can experience it for yourself.
We may have to take you up on that. I just was curious, how long has this been around, and where was it started? How was it discovered?
Well, I've been told that 30 years ago, there was a Japanese physician that was working with rheumatoid arthritis patients. And that's where these extreme temperatures were experimented with first. Mm-hmm. The last 10, 20 years, versions of the cryosauna or the cryo chamber have been around Europe mostly, spas or resorts. And in the last 5 or 6 years, it's really popped up on the radar here in the United States, especially with a lot of sports teams and professional athletes that are singing its praises.
Are there any athletes in particular that are singing the praises more than others?
Lately, it was LeBron James, who there was an article about who's using whole body cryotherapy. I first heard back when the Mavericks won the NBA playoffs, that those guys were saying that that's how they were playing so fresh each game with that intense schedule. Floyd Mayweather was, I think, I didn't watch this, but I heard that before the fight and HBO was promoting how he was preparing for the big fight, he put one in his home or his training center. And back about 3 years ago, there were maybe 5 or 6 NBA teams that had put this in their training facilities and started using it on a regular basis. And now there's probably a much larger number that started using them.
And brings a new understanding to the phrase going cold when playing basketball.
Right?
Sounds really neat. I mean, I always want to get massages, but I don't feel like I can allot that amount of time. So getting the same results in 3 minutes sounds really ideal for me. I'm just wondering if there are any limitations to it. Like, do you have to be concerned about people that maybe have heart problems or any kind of limitation that
absolutely. With everybody that comes in, we're checking their blood pressure. So high blood pressure is one of the contraindications, because your systolic rate is going to increase 10 to 15 points when you face that extreme cold. High blood pressure is one of the contraindications. Recent heart attack, that's one. Congestive heart failure, unstable angina, Raynaud's syndrome, or cold allergies, where you could have a topical vasoconstriction response. That would be a contraindication.
Interesting.
Now, earlier you said you expose as much skin as possible. So what does one typically wear during one of these sessions?
So for men, you'll wear underwear, dry underwear, and we
what could be a little uncomfortable.
I have spoken to somebody who was sweaty from working out and went into a cryosauna, and it was not that pleasant of an experience for them.
You probably don't want to lick the walls of the chamber either.
Absolutely. Yeah. We provide everyone with socks, gloves, and slippers. And so you'll put those on. Men wear their underwear. Women, you can go without underwear, but if you do keep a bra and underwear on, there can't be any underwire. So you can't have any metal, plastic, or moisture on your body when you go inside the cryosauna.
Yeah, you certainly don't want any moisture, because that's going to freeze pretty fast.
Right.
Yeah. I hadn't thought about that.
Well, just when he said the most skin, I'm picturing the implications of the most skin, and they weren't very pretty.
Well, and yeah, for men, you just want to keep sensitive areas of the body close to you.
Ooh, we're getting pretty graphic here. We better move along.
We're handling it very tastefully, though. So you've talked about some of the scientific stuff. What are some of the stories you've heard from people who have actually used it that you haven't necessarily seen the science to back it up, but they're saying these are the benefits of using the full body cryotherapy?
Well, there's a lot of anecdotal experiences, and the greatest results we've seen with sports and workout recovery. I mean, that across the board, and the studies that are being done there, they show a lot of positive results. There have been some results with individuals with skin conditions. Because this elicits a systemic response, it's been shown with some individuals that with repeat sessions, the body does some sort of reset. An individual who experienced years and years of a flaming psoriasis on her scalp after 10 treatments had the body correct itself so that psoriasis went away. So that's pointing to some conditions or some responses that does bring about a need for greater study as to what is happening here.
Now, do you have a question, Michelle?
I just think that's really interesting.
I do too. Now, I was just wondering that you're not seeing this as a replacement to massage therapy, but as a supplement to massage therapy. Is that correct?
I see this as a great adjunct. It seems like anyone who's a candidate for whole body cryotherapy is a candidate for massage therapy, and vice versa. And that's exactly why when I decided to bring this to St. George, Utah, that I felt like this is a fit with what we're offering with the Huntsman Games, the Senior Games Massage and Chiropractic team.
Yeah, and that is important.
Well, I was just going to say that's neat. I feel like we're cutting edge in that aspect, and that's a great asset to bring to the games. The athletes should really enjoy that.
I had a call 2 days ago from a cryotherapy business in St. Louis who found me on Google and called up to say that their Senior Games participant, who is a daily whole body cryotherapy user, and he was willing to drive to Las Vegas during the Senior Games to receive his treatments if we didn't have one here in St. George. So I'm so excited to be the one to bring it to the area.
Now, just to clarify, it won't be available at the Dixie Center, but it'll be available at your place of business.
On my site, at my site of business, which is maybe about 5-minute drive from the Dixie Center.
From the Dixie Center. Well, we're starting to wind down here a little bit. Are there any other things you want to share with us about the full body cryotherapy? The pricing for the Senior Games participants. In your booklet, we are offering first session at $25. So that's
a great price to come and test it out.
It's a good way to come and experience it and see how it might support you in your events.
How does that compare to a regular price?
Regular price is $70, but then there are other pricing options to make to incentivize multiple sessions.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, Jody, that was just amazing. I learned a lot, and we appreciate you being here and joining us.
Yeah, I think we're all really excited for the games. Your massage business and cryotherapy that you guys all take part in conjunction with the games, I know really helps the athletes, and they enjoy coming and having that benefit right there, especially at great prices. So I think it's really going to accentuate the games, and I think that, don't you think that we just offer like a whole cruise ship of activities for them to do and to participate in at the games?
They are there, but it's like a cruise ship. You have to choose to do it.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's a lot of fun offers.
Yep. Well, thanks for joining us today, Jody.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. And Michelle, we are getting so close to the games.
Yeah.
I mean, in just over 2 weeks, check-in opens. Athletes will be coming and swarming the community and swarming the Dixie Center.
I'm having a little bit of that mom before Christmas anxiety, like, will we get everything done and will all the presents be wrapped? But we've been working really hard, and I can say almost certainly that we will be.
Well, we're always ready.
Yeah.
It always happens.
It always happens.
Sometimes it feels a lot like Christmas because you're up at midnight wrapping presents.
At least.
So that everything's there for the kids in the morning.
I'm expecting that.
Well, we want to invite everybody out to the opening ceremonies. It's going to be October 6th. We have Rayford Johnson, an Olympic gold medalist. He was a decathlete from the 1960 Olympics. He's going to be our guest and our speaker, and we have the parade of athletes, and we have fireworks and the extravaganza with the country flags. It's going to be a wonderful time.
And it's free, so everyone in the community should come and support it. What a great event. And
another fun thing we're going to have is the concert and celebration, which is going to be a week later on October 13th. And we have the British Invasion tribute. And that's kind of fun. That's from it's all about the 60s, the British Invasion, the Turtles, all those bands that came in the 60s with the Beatles, and then the American response, the Beach Boys, the Monkees, and they finish up with a tribute to the Beatles. There'll be era costumes, and that also is
free. So everyone in the community should come out and see that concert. I mean, how can you beat free?
You can't beat free, and it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a great show. It's a very professional group. And then if you have any comments or feedback about our show, we'd love to hear from you. Just send an email to activelife@seniorgames.net. Again, that's activelife@seniorgames.net. If you have any suggestions about topics you'd like to hear or any comments on anything you've heard on the show, we'd love to hear from you. I just want to share with you a quote for the day. It's by Andy Rooney. And it says, "It's paradoxical that the idea of living a long life appeals to everyone, but the idea of getting old doesn't appeal to anyone." Until next time, stay active, everybody. Thanks for joining us.